And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and
for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he. Yes, Lori, you have been cut out. You messed up, and I got you. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. Again, I am he. We're streaming live and direct on Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, LinkedIn, Facebook Live X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe to all of those platforms. But most importantly, right now, we are looking for as many of you to help us out with our Drive to 10,000 campaign, where we are looking for our very first 10,000 subscribers. We got off to a very good start yesterday. I appreciate everybody that may have started the week out not subscribed to the channel and is now on our YouTube channel. We really want to be able to have a large footprint on things going forward, and YouTube is going to be one of those vehicles that we definitely want to use. We definitely know that their algorithms are set up in a way that the more subscribers, the more view times that you have, it really does reach out to more and more people from an organic point of view. So we do appreciate that. Also, once you like and subscribe, we also ask that you definitely share so that we can grow the network with you and address a lot of things that may be important to you. We do this show every single Thursday at 7 p.m. Live, like I said. So we are streaming all at once on all of those platforms. During the football season, we also have a different show called Head to Head Sports that airs on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. as well. And we'll be looking to add more shows in the future and stream those live as well. So without further ado, let me bring on two of our panelists. First, we have Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
Doing great. Happy Pi Day to everyone. And may I say this?
No.
Yes, I did mess up. My mouse was hovering over the wrong one. That's why I had a slight hiccup in the beginning. But it's all good.
You already been wrote up. I mean, I don't edit the write up.
That's okay. I'm going to explain. There you go.
All right. Noted. Then let's bring in our next panelist. He is the host of Elephant Exposed, as seen on YouTube, I believe. YouTube, right? Still on YouTube, right? It's on YouTube. All you need to do is go into your search, pull up CJ Jones Elephant Exposed, and catch any episodes CJ would like to cover, particularly a lot of times things going on in law enforcement, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, and to take deep dives into it, try to peel back the different layers, so to speak, the different, take an onion and peel back layer by layer to try to get to the crux of what's really going on. And sometimes how your eyes may deceive you and the truth may lie underneath the surface. And it's more important to reach the truth than to come up with very quick judgments of a situation. But sometimes being able to sit back, take a deeper dive, and take a deeper look into it. As I said before, he's none other than Mr. TNTBS, CJ Jones. How you doing, sir?
Man, I feel very honored right now. Thank you very much for that, for that lovely plug, man. That was awesome.
Well, thank you.
I have nothing else left to say outside of every now and then, I hit you up with some music lists of some of my favorite songs. I'm a DJ, of course. So, and I'm also known to do two types of karaoke. That's the traditional as well as the sing along. So whenever I come on the scene, it's nothing but fun.
All right. That's right. And for those of you who don't know, CJ is branched out now to his DJing business. With he is DJ C Nice, and he is on the ones and twos. And we will make sure that we get his contact info embedded uh, into the contact part of the video, so that you guys can be able to reach out to him when you need to. And we'll also have something cut going forward, so that we'll be able to put that as well on the screen. But you can reach out to him that way, or you can always just hit us in our comments, and we'll respond that way as well and get you hooked up with CJ. He's in the Charlotte area, so anybody out in that area, please know. I know how what he can do for you. He can do parties, events, all kinds of things. So just reach out to him. Like I said, he does regular DJ music. He also does karaoke. A lot of people like to uh, do karaoke in home karaoke, or do karaoke with friends and things like that. So hit him up for all information. So to be continued with that, as well as anybody else out there that has a business that they want to promote, or they have an event that they want to promote. Again, we stream on a lot of outlets, and we do know that advertising and promotions can really, really help and assist. But unfortunately, a lot of times, advertising dollars escapes a lot of us because of the high price of advertising. If you partner with us at Empower TV, we'll definitely make that a lot easier for you to be able to do. So reach out to us, and we can help cut some kind of promo for you that we'll put across the show, and we'll also put across our YouTube platform, as well as Amazon Fire TV and Roku TV as well. And as an example of that, we would like to introduce you to Jermaine Parker Realty. It is a local realty company based in Charlotte, North Carolina, serving all of North Carolina, but predominantly the greater Charlotte area. And the people look somewhat like this. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions that you'll make. Here at Jermaine Parker Realty, we're here to help you navigate through that process. We know that a home is more than just a place to live. It creates memories. Here at Jermaine Parker Realty, we're here to help. Give us a call and let us get started on your journey. Also, guys, would like you to check out this next promotion. It is about a new book that's out there called Moments the Weekend by Catherine Y. Jones. And Lori, why don't you go ahead and play this clip, The Moments. All right, there it is. So congratulations to Catherine. I know she's worked long and hard to get this book up and running and out and everything. You can go to Amazon and actually download the electronic version of the book for free, or better yet, you can actually purchase the hard copy of the book for $25. And the website is, what's that? Did I miss it? Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the TNTBS website. There you go. It's on the TNTBS website. You can purchase that. in addition to other things. If you need coffee mugs or anything else, their store is up there as well. So you can get all of those great items. So check that out. If you need more details, please reach out to us and we can get that over to you ASAP. Lori, we'll hold another commercial a little later on, but let's get into it. How's everybody doing this week? How's your week?
Absolutely. It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. As I said, celebrating National Pie Day. Not the math person, but I do recognize it is 3/14.
Did
So
you eat pie today?
no, I did not eat any pie today, but I had to order group lunch, but I made sure that they had pizza. So they did have a pie.
Pizza pie.
Yeah,
My
pizza pie.
It's funny. My company is based out of Columbus, Ohio. So it's always funny because they do a lot of things there at the corporate office, and because I work remote, as a lot of us do, we're not actually in the corporate office to enjoy all these great things that they do like that. So we get to do is see the pictures of them with all these different kind of cream pies and I should say cream pies, but it was a cream pie, but it wasn't that kind of cream pie. That's on my OnlyFans page. But anyway, but these were like lemon cream pies and coconut cream pies and things like that. And then they also had the traditional pizza pies and all that other kind of stuff. So they were eating real good at lunch today, apparently at the corporate office. So I only go there maybe 2 to 3 times a year. So normally by the time we get there, there's no pie.
Nothing left, huh?
Not even a cream pie.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Zip. Nada.
Nada.
Zilch.
We had to order something else, but it's still not a cream pie. Gotta love those cream pies. Anyway, keeping it together, Lori. You really are. I'm trying to shake you, but it ain't working. Cream pie. No. Okay. Check. Anyway, yeah, 3/14 National Pie Day is actually my 8-year anniversary too with the company. So, and I never even thought about it being on Pie Day, but now that'll be even easier for me to remember. So, that's going forward. And we got some nice Carolina weather here this week. No rain and 75 to 80-degree weather. All at the expense of losing an hour this past Sunday or Saturday night, Sunday morning rather. I believe Monday was the beginning of Ramadan. So to those that are celebrating, we definitely wish you well. I had a call with one of my clients today that I said, "Man, you all right? You sound a little different." He says, "I've been fasting," and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot." He sounded a little weak. Like, yeah, I bet you kind of messed up right now. So Ramadan goes now from March the 10th through April the 9th, I believe it is. So basically, it's a time of fasting throughout the day, and then they have a feast at sundown. So we definitely recognize that. We also recognize, Lori, that it is Women's Month, and we did have International Women's Day last week. We definitely want to give a shout out to all the women that make our lives better and easier, and we thank them for that and their contributions. It's huge, and especially in a time from a political standpoint when women's rights are really, really being under assault and under fire. It is good to always be able to recognize women for the contributions that they've done, and world would be a lot different if they hadn't done a lot of the things. Speaking of pie, when we think about the mathematicians that even helped get us into space, I think about that. And I'm thinking about all the contributions that women have done over the years, and even currently, it's very amazing. So happy Women's Month, indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing us and all the contributions that we have contributed to society.
Well, as Coco Jones would say, I see you.
Ooh, you trying today. You trying.
I'm just saying. That's what she said, right? You want me to sing it?
Yeah, but when you get a little higher pitch, but that's fine. You stay where it's at. It's all good. Yeah, we get it.
I ain't do that. I ain't do no herding cats. That's what you sound like.
And this is why I don't sing.
Yeah, I know you sound like you should sit on a fence and just start belting it out. But anyway,
You do know that's the whole point of karaoke, right, sis?
I do know that. Yes.
Hey, mine.
Okay. Because see, a lot of people kind of got that backwards. They feel like, oh, I can't do karaoke because I can't sing. You're the
That's
reason why karaoke businesses are in business. It is to sing out of key, forget words, the whole nine. That's
Yep.
the whole point of it.
Listen, my contribution to being karaoke is I be a backup dancer. See, you want this way? I got you the moves on the background. I got your whole background. I could hype up the crowd that way.
I remember though.
Shower singing, car singing, the whole nine. I want it all. Bad
Well,
notes.
oh, I do. I do too, especially now in the life of cell phones, because I'll record that. So
Yeah.
I remember, but I remember exclusively to what CJ said. Karaoke was about you gonna walk out and be like, okay, who's the worst out of this bunch? Because they all bad. But we're trying
Exactly.
to figure out who the worst one. But it was like a community of bad people, bad singers. Like you ain't really expect the next whatever talent to pop up on the stage. But I will
Right.
say over the last several years, even the last couple of weeks, man, anytime I go to karaoke, it be some hitters up in there. I'm like, what the hell's
Yeah, they
going
have no business being on that stage.
on?
That's
I
why that's
remember
why
when
I
I
shared that. That's why I shared that meme the way that I did. I said,
yeah.
all you people that really know how to sing, number one, if you do not, I'm gonna have two lists. If you come to my event, I'm gonna have two lists. If you are a veteran singer and you can sing, I appreciate you, but I'm gonna save you for last. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna go way in the back. All
Because you're
right.
gonna scare everybody off if they go first.
Exactly, because you're gonna kill people's confidence. That's not what karaoke is about. Karaoke is about us bad singers. We having a bad day. We got scratchy throat. We don't really know the words. Everybody trying to share the mic and be like, "Ah, well, let's have it." That's karaoke.
That's karaoke.
Now in between, I might put a hitter in there, some, whatever. But because like you said, when you get your singers up there, they really just shut the house down. And people are like, oh my God, they sound just like the person. Nah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it literally does become, oh my gosh, or
who can follow that?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I had to follow somebody that sat there and did something so good. They when you get a damn standing ovation at karaoke,
Yeah,
you were
did
singing.
something.
You were singing.
Right.
You should get standing ovations at karaoke.
Right.
That's
If
crazy.
anything, everybody should be clapping and laughing and
Right, because
making
it
you
was
feel like, man, you tried.
hilarious.
That's good.
Hilarious, but a lot of times you clap because you like, man, they better than me. Man, I don't know if I can do that. You kind of like, dude, at least they tried kind of thing.
Exactly.
But when the person shut it down as if they just did their own mini concert.
Right. They just dropped the mic.
And then the DJ calls your name.
And you're
Why are
like,
they still clapping? Why are they still clapping? I'm going, I heard the DJ. I said, you really want me to follow that up? He said, man, you got this. And I did. But what if? What if I was Lori? And he had done that. Lori would have never came out there again. She'd been like, oh, hell no. Or she would have think, DJ, you trying to set me up. So, yeah, take it. Karaoke is not necessarily for you to get a record contract. I am a very competitive person, but I'm not very competitive at karaoke. I like to have a good time. I like to be able to perform. It really helped me with my introvertness a lot, because I was in front of people that I did not know. And once the music starts playing, you look more like a dumbass and an idiot if you don't sing once the music starts. So
exactly,
it helped me get over my stage fright and fear of speaking in front of people. So That's what karaoke started out for me. It was
Man,
very
look, I get nervous sometimes even doing this stuff. Like even whenever I'm podcasting, just running my own show. To this day, you know, you still get some level of like anxiousness or butterflies and stuff. And I mean, I've been in front of audiences pretty much like all of my life. And that feeling, it never goes away, whether you speaking on something that you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
whether you sing like me singing in the choir, you know,
yeah,
whatever, you know, it's just a part of the human experience, man. And most of all, if you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't have fun with yourself, then what are we doing, y'all? You
yeah.
know, we doing.
That's true. Yeah, you got to be able to, where you're not so wound up so tight that you always take yourself so seriously and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's okay to be able to just do that or decompress and things like that. So have fun with it, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's karaoke or just taking walks or whatever, exercising or working out in the yard. Now it's getting to be about that time though. We got the heat, we got the rain. We know next month we're gonna have the pollen.
It's coming.
The grass is starting to grow back, starting to turn green. Gonna be about that time to hear lawn. I think I did hear a lawnmower the other day, actually.
You actually heard
Yeah.
one today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
They were doing it across the street.
Yeah,
it's
they were.
rough. Yeah,
They were cutting the dead leaves on the ground today. But yeah,
yeah. It's definitely gonna be more of that. So spring is definitely
coming.
here. Yeah, well, yeah, it's coming. It's still technically winter, right? Yeah,
Technically.
for
Yes,
another
on
for another week, right?
March 19th is the first day of spring.
Okay. Okay. So we're less than a week. So we'll officially be in the spring, but with the whole daylight savings, we can see that it's staying the sun's staying out a lot longer now. So that's a nice thing. People enjoy the after work hours, so to speak, a little bit more. So that'll be a nice thing too. So I have a friend that's in Arizona, and he always laughs at us because on our calls because their time doesn't change at all. This is the time of the year that Pacific time and Mountain time are together, and then they split back off in October again. So
I never thought
everybody
about that, but that is right.
the
Yeah.
time
Mm-hmm.
change because
Yeah.
they were dead set against it. And it's funny because there have been so many times when laws have been proposed to get away with it altogether, and it just never gets across the finish line because the whole point of daylight savings time was a whole economic thing. It was always about money.
Yeah. It's for farmers.
Yeah, it was a money thing.
Everything originated from farmers, and I felt like he was going to touch it. I was actually expecting for Jermaine to touch on it because
Uh-huh.
he's our history buff.
He is.
Yes, everything started out from the mindset of farmers and so forth. But anyway,
Well, yes, and adding that on farmers, but also Arizona still does not recognize, if I'm not mistaken, Martin Luther King Day. I thought they don't recognize it
Check on that, Lord.
as a national
as a
holiday,
holiday or something, because as I said, it's
Hmm.
not celebrated.
Mhm.
I'll double check on it. As I said, I think.
Hmm.
Well, you
Interesting.
do know you do know that our lieutenant governor here, Martin Luther King on steroids,
Oh Jesus.
uh, isn't really for civil rights either. So,
Or
uh,
women or anything. He's just
or women voting. Yeah,
right.
I was watching a mashup the other day, and even though I've heard a lot of this craziness this dude says, when you watch it, it's just still almost effing unbelievable that
Mm-hmm.
somebody would say, I want America. Now, listen, a black man says, I want America to go back to a time when women couldn't vote. And he talks about the Holocaust being a hoax. He talks about 9/11 not really happening, Sandy Hook being a bunch of crybabies. Um, a lot, I mean, just inflammatory stuff that I'd be like, wait a minute,
Oh,
you've heard this dude say this and you still voted for him? He makes Trump look sane.
Okay. So here's the thing. And I think this is where people in general, society, especially on the far right, and mixed in with evangelicals, merging into the MAGA world.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, show the bridge. This is where they take freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and they skew it. People have to understand that when the constitutions were written and they start coming out with these amendments, these were freedoms that mostly benefited white America, number one, white male America, number two. And then by default, his wife and children had some benefits to it too, but it was never meant to benefit us at all. But by the way it was written, it had to be written almost like a global thing. Now, I'm going somewhere with it, sis. Just hear me out. So what happens is that they take these freedoms outside of their homes. And that's where you get the blurred lines. Because they feel like, well, I have, and that's where you get this whole entitlement, this Karenicity and everything, because they are literally vocalizing what should be kept in their homes or amongst at least the people within their private sectors in their groups. But see, my wife put it very, very simple whenever and we teach it to our children. Whatever you do, you have a right to do it within your confine. But when you start trying to exercise your rights and it starts to infringe on someone else's, then that's when you're out of pocket. In other words, just because I feel like I'm a Christian believer, then I have to force my beliefs and stuff on you. That's where that's where they got it twisted and mixed up at.
Yeah,
because I got a freedom, because I got a right to express myself. I got a right to my religious practices. But since you don't believe that way, and then that's when you start blurring the lines when it comes to when it comes to the Constitution, when it comes to the amendments, because all of that stuff was geared for your home.
What? But in the instance of Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, and again, with
expression.
Yes, I get the freedom of expression. But what to me is, and especially as and I'll also say this, that again, and a lot of other people, white people, feel that Black people are not a monolith. We all don't believe the same. We all don't come from the same places and everything else.
Right.
But for him to sit here and to say the things that he has said, and especially growing up in Greensboro, North Carolina, and having to say all of these things, and the venom that is spewed from his mouth, it is just appalling. Because I'm like sitting here saying, you are tap dancing for these people, looking like a minstrel and trying to do it for this way, and you look like a jackass, and you
he knows what
retarded.
he looks like, sis. He knows what he looks like. But see, you gotta understand,
I don't think he does.
I think he's prostituting himself.
I think he thinks that this is great, and I'm like, don't you know these people are laughing at you? Like, don't you look like a jackass.
Sis, these people are not stupid. They're not dumb. They know exactly what they're selling out for. That's why, I
think CJ's right in that, in a way, because it would be easier for me to believe that the Tim Scotts of the world, the Mark Robinsons of the world, the Larry Elders of the world, the Candace Owens of the world,
her brother
would have to know better.
They do.
Because
they probably do, but it's just they sound like, it's just like,
but
the Clarence Thomases.
Right. I mean, Robinson made Clarence Thomas look like Malcolm X.
Seriously though. I mean, Herschel Walker. All these people are selling themselves for whatever position, whatever paycheck, whatever scheme, whatever.
When you think about Herschel, though, Herschel grew up in slavery before he tried to do politics, and that was the National Football League, where you had white owners telling a bunch
and that's
of
the proverbial slavery, or the modern day slavery.
So he was kind of already programmed into believing that whatever this white man telling me is for my good, is for my benefit, and he went along with it, didn't question it or anything else. And because he was able to make millions and millions of dollars, well, whatever Mr. Whitey told me ended up working. So I'm gonna ride with that. I kind of get Herschel. Herschel is a product of his environment. He's not a very smart person. I'm not saying Herschel is a smarter person. I think when you start dealing with the Larry Elders and the Candace Owens and the Mark Robinsons and the Tim Scotts, that's a different kind of IQ level that, hey, you don't have that experience.
I do agree with that.
I agree on that. I agree on that point. I definitely agree.
I think the other ones grew up in an environment of education outlets where they knew how to go and research and find and vet the truth. Herschel, I kind of believes is one of those that you just tell Herschel what to think. Tell me where to go, coach. You want me to run? You want me to run again? Want me to do it again?
He was a true puppet. He really was a true puppet.
Definitely was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I felt kind of bad for him because you could even tell, like, when Lindsey Graham and them would come down and they would stand by him and they would almost speak for him. And I was like, this is just terrible. Like, they are basically trying to push this dude across the finish line.
He was one of their favorite blacks.
Because he can't.
And that's another thing. Like, how can, like, I know we've seen the hot takes and the reels and so forth of whenever Trump went to the black sorry.
all he could see is the black faces out in the audience.
And then these people just sitting up there just straight like, do y'all realize that man just insulted you to your face? He put you in, like how my sister said, he generalized you. He made us a monolith to say, oh, the reason why I'm getting the black folks is because of my mug picture and they can relate because they know what it's like. Are you effing serious, bro? Like, how, as soon as that came out your mouth, where was old boy that jumped across the bench to jump on the judge? Where was him? Where was he? Because that should have been one of those moments.
And I guess with the con with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is when he had secured the nomination for running for governor for the state of North Carolina, again, he had his little victory party and speech, and there was this woman that was on, a black woman, and she was a young woman, and she was spouting and believing the foolishness that he just sat there and said, talking about education, this one and everything else. And she's like, and I'm just sitting there looking at the TV like, what? Like, where are you? I know you can make a choice, but I think what she was doing was, I'm just gonna ride with him and not make an intelligent choice. And that's where I just got annoyed with what he was spouting in his victory speech.
Well, now that part reminds me of certain churches out there where folks would rather listen to the guy behind the pulpit than open up their word and read their word and decipher it. There's a saying of try the word by the word, because
try the spirit by the spirit to see if it be of God. Yeah.
Because what you want to make sure of is that the person that is up on that pulpit is not pulling their own doctrine out of something and force feeding it to you, and you don't question it or read it for yourself to make sure that things, if I'm a preacher and I'm preaching out of the Bible, then you'll know that, because if you're studying, you'll know that the things that I'm saying are in line with the Bible. As soon as I start to deviate from the Bible and start to,
my hand gonna go up real quick. Trust me.
My own little spin on it, you're gonna know, because you're gonna be like, well, hold on, whoa.
Where'd you get that?
Where you get that from? And or there's some very loose interpretations. So, Lori, a lot of times when they'll say stuff like education, there's a loose interpretation about how education should go. I'm old enough to remember where we sent our kids to school because we wanted them to have what we call a well-rounded education. Well-rounded education was a lot of different things, but it was also interacting with people that are different from you, learning from people that are different from you. It wasn't just straight. They always talk about reading math and all that kind of stuff. No, it was that, but it was a lot more than that. It was understanding how the world actually works and prepare them so that when they go out into the world, they have a better understanding of what's going on out there. At some point, what happened was a lot of people's, whether it was their religious views or their own personal views, we always point to religion, but some of it, I struggle with always calling it religious views because a lot of the things these people be thinking are in none of these books. They just making the shit up.
No, they do.
And then what happens is they attach it and they say, this is part of my Christian values. And I'll be like,
and that's the part that pisses me off.
I'd be like, okay, well, the Christ that I've read about would not be in favor of the stuff that you're talking about. The Christ that I read about does not sit there and talk about hating people that don't look like you. Jesus didn't preach about hating people. He might say you hate a sin, but we ain't talking about hating people and dividing people like that. We talked, I know when I read the Bible, it talked about being an example to others.
Right.
That's how you draw them into you because they see your walk and they go, I want more of that for me.
Right.
But if all they see is you one way at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning and a totally person at 11 o'clock on Monday, they're not going to follow that foolishness.
Right. In other words,
what happens with that? Yeah.
In other words, guys, most people do. It's in us as humans just to follow examples.
Yep.
And as a society, we're lazy. We're so lazy.
Very.
I mean, and this is spiritual, academic, anything. Even when it comes to ourselves, like us taking care of ourselves, we're lazy. We're always looking to take the path of the least resistance.
Absolutely.
What do we call it? We call it convenience.
Yep.
So I don't want to think for myself. You tell me, because you know what? You're kind of cute. You're kind of sexy. And see, they know that being cute and being sexy sells. Why do you think platforms like Fox News and what is it, the 5 or whatever? Because I don't really follow them.
You talking about Newsmax or
and all of them?
Fox News has the 5 with Jesse Waters.
Yeah, the 5 and all this other stuff. If you notice, all of those women look cookie cutter. They are not bad looking women. They are not.
That was due to the basis on Roger Ailes on Fox News, and he had a certain look for certain women that was on there. Yep.
It's a certain look. And so before, back in the day, when we were coming up, because we're about the same age group, when we were kids coming up, it was the whole blonde hair, blue eye. Then they start trying to mix it in with the brunettes and so forth, but they still had the whole traditional, long flowy hair, nice makeup and everything. They want for the women to look like they want to be as sexual icons, but not like totally like Playboy, because that's going to get your attention as a man. That's going to get your attention, and you're going to stay right there. Even though you hadn't heard a word she said, you just want to sit up there and lust at the TV. And that's where the viewership comes in at.
I'm going to be honest. You're spreading out, but you're talking about the objectification of people. When you think about, I'm old enough to remember when we referred to flight attendants as stewardesses, and they were all cookie cut, where they had to be a certain body shape. I mean, when you get on a plane now, the things I see on a plane would not have been on a plane 25, 30 years ago.
No.
Number one, wouldn't have been no dudes.
No.
Barely. and the women would not have been 75-year-old looking grandmas. They would have been a certain body type, bust type, hips, everything else. You could just basically get on flight after flight, and they all look the same because they were going for that look.
So
yeah,
that drives me to drive a question. I'm sorry, and I know it's probably going to sound like devil's advocate, but I'm not really trying to go there. But some of the moderate, I'm trying to put my mindset inside of a moderate concern. Like the ones that are not MAGA, but they still want, the old school stuff. Is that what they're saying that they're missing? Like basically, like just like the whole like. I remember there was a time when a man was a man, a woman was a woman, and da 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 da.
To answer your question, what they are feeling like they're missing is in their mind normal. And I'll give you a perfect example. I was talking to guys from New York, and he lives in Charlotte now, and we talk about having to leave early wherever you go because you're going to have to spend time finding somewhere to park. You're going to have to navigate through the trains. There's a lot of things that you do in New York that you never have to do here. As a matter of fact, I brought up the fact that Lori, even as a under 10-year-old, would jump on the train to go to school. That's right, Lori, right?
Not under 10. No, I started taking the train when I was 14. 13, 14.
Because I've seen younger kids just jump on the train by themselves.
No, their parent actually was in the station with them, and then they watch them on the train. But yes, actually now, yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. Where my point to that was, I was like, man, could you imagine sitting there at the bus at the bus stop, not a school bus stop, but at the like regular bus, and watching your kids get on and just waving them off? No, because our kids aren't built like that down here. So we were just talking about kind of the differences, but what's normal here may not be normal somewhere else, was my point. And he totally got that. And he was talking about the adapting and evolution of that. Well, for a lot of people, CJ, they have what they believe is normal. What they believe is normal is that there are only two sexes, a man and a woman, because their Bible told them that a woman was created from the rib of a man. What they say, but what they don't understand is that there can be a difference between gender and sex. They think it's both the same thing. Just like they think that climate and weather is the exact same thing. Climate is not weather, and weather is not climate. Climate is more more of how the weather changes. They're connected, but they're not the same thing. Same thing with gender and sex. So now when they want things to be normal to them and not have to accept a newer normal of inclusivity. I don't want to have to change my view of a man. If you was born as a dude, like you have a penis, then in my opinion, you are a man. You cannot come back and tell me that you identify as fluid or non-binary or any of these other things. You are a damn dude. And even if you tell me that your name now is Rebecca and you was born as Sean, I'm going to always call you Sean. And I shouldn't have to sit there and respect the fact that you want to be called Rebecca. That's what a lot of it comes down to is that I don't want to have to embrace inclusion. I don't want to have to embrace acceptance of things that I don't deem as normal. I want what my vision of normal is to remain that way. And you have no right to infringe your beliefs that you should be called a girl when you was born a boy. Because you feel like even though your sex is your sex, your gender, your gender has changed. And for a lot of people, they can't understand the difference between the two because they, in their mind, their Bible told them that doesn't exist. And
well, my Bible tells me the same thing. I just don't go around condemning. So when you say their Bible, I mean, you're talking about, I'm assuming that you're talking about the Bible.
No. I'm not. I'm talking
Well,
about in their mind, because if you
okay.
ask them certain things in the Bible, they don't even know it's in there. So they
Okay.
choose,
Well, yep. That ends that conversation right there.
choose what their Bible says and what it doesn't say. So you almost
Okay.
have to vet them, because I say their Bible in air quotes, because
Oh, okay. All
they're
right.
taking something that they call a Bible and they're just making it like the drawer in your kitchen that catches everything in it. It's got some
Right.
batteries,
I got you.
and
Yeah.
some pins, and some shit stuck to the bottom of it, because they
The
would just rather.
whatnot drawer. Yeah.
It's a whatnot drawer.
The whatnot drawer. Yeah. Okay. I
The
got you.
Bible is a whatnot drawer of different things. May or may not really be in the real Bible, but it's in their Bible, and they're trying
Got
to
you. I got you.
keep it normal in that kind of way. I know that was kind of all over the place. I'm trying to give
No.
our historian a chance to eat up a little bit, but we're gonna bring him on in, because
Okay.
we know he probably want to jump into this too. So, ladies, I know y'all been waiting for this all show, but we're gonna bring him to the stage. He is the Bick of Jermaine Parker Realty, of the ad that we played earlier, of Jermaine Parker Realty, serving North Carolina, but primarily the greater Charlotte area. For all of your housing needs, buying or selling, please reach out to this man. He's very knowledgeable in the area, but he is also beloved by everybody that watches the show, because he will give it to you straight, and at some point explain to you how America is racist and always has been racist. None other than the franchise. Jermaine Parker, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. You can show me eating. I've been fasting all day, so I'm not ashamed to eat in front of y'all right now. I'm hungry.
I bet you are.
So,
Well deserved. Well
Hey,
deserved. Now,
yeah, I hope there's no humans
now, my
walking around
brother.
that got barbecue sauce or hot sauce in their hands, because they
Yeah.
might get ate too.
Now, the one thing that I really do admire, even because I'm a Christian, but one thing that we do agree on as far as believers goes is how different groups of us fast. One of the things that I love and I admire about my brother's practices is that they fast, I think, in the proper way. And that is when you are giving up a desire, like when they give up their food and drink, they're also meditating or praying for the replacement of that. And that is the true definition of fasting. Fasting is accompanied with prayer and meditation. So good on you, bro. I love that about y'all.
Yep.
appreciate it.
You're
It is
How
a
you
holy
doing,
month of
Josh?
Ramadan. So fasting for the whole month, or at least going to try to fast for the whole month. I've been successful for the
You can
first
do
couple
it.
days, so gonna try to keep that up and stuff. And for I know a lot of people, because somebody asked me, said, "What is Ramadan?" Ramadan is actually the 9th month of the Muslim calendar. The reason it's significant is because it's the month in which Muslims believe that the first passages of the Quran were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And one of the Islam has 5 pillars, and one of the pillars is the observance of Ramadan, the fasting. So it's a Lent is kind of optional. Ramadan is not optional for Muslims, with exceptions. Small children, pregnant women, people that are sick, elderly, are
Common
are
sense.
exempt. But because Islam is not a religion of burden. That's not. But yeah, so I had to finish up my prayers, and so I was gonna hop on the show, then go pray, and then come back. And I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do everything, and then I'll fix me a plate, and I'll hop on the show just in time to tell you that America is racist. Not because I wanted to be, but it is.
I think
But it
I need to add that as the Chiron for you. I mean, we have a couple this one, but I'm gonna add that
Yeah, you
Chiron
got
for you.
to. Yeah, you got
Exactly.
Might as well.
So I kind of was sitting backstage where you guys were talking,
Yep.
and I'm not going to jump in because I don't know the genesis of that conversation how you got there.
Yeah.
Because when I jumped in backstage, you guys were talking about flight attendants versus stewardesses, and I like stewardesses, but I also like midgets too. But you can have your small people. Everybody's got the things, you know. If you're an 80-year-old white person and you prefer the N word over colors or colors, that's what you're used to. I too only believe in two, and the thing is that and I will jump into the gender sex thing. It's conflated on both sides, because when an application says what sex are you, if it's two different things, then you get the answer man or woman. If it asks your gender, then that's a different thing. But most things only ask for your sex.
Correct.
There's like everything, there's a reason for why people ask that. When we talk about insurance rates, it's proven through maturity and stuff that women are better drivers early on in terms of being cautious and stuff, and young males have higher insurance rates. We get different things depending on, when we talk about health insurance stuff. There are things that if you're a woman, it would be nice to know, because there are certain diseases and stuff that are more prevalent to women than there are men, and vice versa. There is a basis for that. As far as people engaging in their fluidity or being trans, I don't really get into that, because the same way that you want me to respect what you believe about yourself, where's the room for me to have a counterpoint to that,
Right.
without it being a problem? Well, you just don't. Well, I don't, and I sincerely don't believe these things. But if you do, I'm not going to, as CJ said earlier, I'm not going to chastise you for it, and I expect the same on my end.
Follow up with me on that. Where is that line, though, of I don't necessarily believe in transgender, or I don't believe in non-binary, but I believe in your right to exist however you want.
But
And what I've heard
that
people
is the
say
line. You
is
just said
that,
it.
and then what you hear people, but it's kind of not, because you'll hear people say, well, I don't care what they want to believe. They can believe whatever they want to believe. I just don't want them to infringe on me. And what they mean by infringing is I have to see it.
Well, I think there's that too. But okay, so here's the line. So, like, when a child decides that they want to dress up and be a firefighter, we all go, "Oh, okay, you're a firefighter." But if that same child showed up to your house when it was burning, you might have a problem with that. That's where my line is. While you're doing that over there, that's fine. If you come to my house with it, it's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Because in my house, I'm allowed to believe what I want.
What if we're walking in common areas and I come down the street, I'm in a dress?
It's not an issue unless you make it an issue.
But that's my point, Jermaine.
And
but the folks that'll sit there and say they have problems with it is they shouldn't have to walk outside their house and see two men holding hands.
Okay. And see that. Oh, go ahead, brother. No, because I've been talking way too much. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get a little macaroni and cheese. Go ahead and
okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll just say this right here, because I do see it on both sides in instances like that. Public display of affection, right? Okay. Well, I have to look at it like this. I still can't tell that person, hey, don't go out, don't come out here holding your hands, and I got a kid right here, da 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 da. This is whenever the maturity of that individual that does not agree with something that they're seeing kicks into play. The maturity and the wherewithal within that person to say, you know what, my child just saw something that I'm not raising them to follow as a role or whatnot. That's where your home teaching comes in at. So let me
give you a scenario. So you're over at Outback Steakhouse having a meal with your wife. Y'all having a nice meal, and you look over the table next to you. Two guys are sitting there, and they lean into each other and give each other a peck. You good with that?
Am I good with it? No. But is it my place to say something about it? Nope. Because again, that's those are two opposing rights there. And one is not better than the other. Just because, okay, that's just like that's just like me being in the Navy.
Yeah.
Now, mostly everybody I was in the Navy with did three main things that as a Christian man, I did not participate in.
Wasn't each other, was it?
Say what?
It wasn't each other, was it?
Man, stop that with the Marine jokes, bro. Listen.
I
a whole lot of I don't smoke and I don't drink. Those are the top two things. And they actually have vouchers and stuff like that. People knew that I wasn't a drinker. So they would be hunting me down. I actually made money behind it. Because I was just like, oh, Jonesy ain't gonna drink, let me, whatever. But was I still participating in whatever the event was and still having fun? Yes. But see, those are my beliefs. Those are my convictions. Hell, y'all drink and I'm around y'all. I call y'all brother and sister.
Yep.
I don't drink with you. I don't smoke with you.
You don't.
But I still have fun. Do I not?
We try.
I think that's an excellent point that CJ makes in terms of social awareness and stuff. Even though he doesn't drink, he be around the people. And the same thing when people like say, so what's the line? The line for me is when you are forcing it on me. Now, and you being out in public is not you forcing your resistance on me.
Exactly.
What would be your example of forcing? Because I think that gets overused. Meaning, because when I hear people that are against it say forcing, they mean just the simple fact that you're not doing it in your home behind closed doors where nobody else can see it. If you do it outside of that, that's forcing. And I'm thinking, okay, but if a man and a woman kiss in a restaurant, that's viewed as absolutely normal. And you're not telling them, hey, take that shit inside somewhere.
If a woman comes up to me and she says, call me Beyonce, I want to be known as Beyonce. And I go, nah, I think your name is Nancy. I'm going to call you Nancy. And she goes, no, I'm only going to be known as Beyonce and stuff. I don't have to participate in whatever it is that you want me to call you. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't. That's the you want me to participate. I had a woman or non-binary. She didn't identify as a woman. She presented as a woman. She didn't identify. I said, ma'am, because I'm Southern. She said, I'm not a woman. Or I don't, whatever she said to me. I said, okay, my bad. So anyway, and I kept going.
Right.
And so what I did is that I just removed all the pronouns from that.
There you go. Thank
now,
you.
so what does that do? Am I acknowledging it? Kind of, but I'm not. I'm not going to participate. But I'm not going to try to be offensive. I'm just going to remove as many pronouns from this conversation as I can.
Right.
Because that's exactly what I do, Jay. And thank you for saying that. That's exactly how I handle it.
Yeah.
And by me living that example, I live that out. And that's why, Brian, whenever you gave me that example, I kind of smiled because that's my life for real. Like I know that everybody don't believe like CJ. Like it's just like the Bible said, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. That's what Joshua is quoted in the Bible saying, right?
Which is fine, but I think a lot of times people will do is try to take that and sanitize everywhere they go with that to say, okay, yes, as for me and my house, but then my house becomes remote. So now I'm in Wendy's. Now I'm there because my vocal in my thing. I'm saying, okay, now while I'm within this perimeter, those same things that would be in my house.
You don't get to spread your house out, bro. No. And that's what I meant. And see, that's what I was meaning by taking what
yes.
If by taking those rights and everything and infringing on other people's rights. That's why I was going with it. Not necessarily talking about that specific topic.
And to expand that out, that's why you see legislation against gay marriage. Because here's the whole thing. Why should you have legislation against gay marriage? If two people want to marry each other, let them marry each other. It ain't gonna make me any. It's not gonna make. If I see two gay guys walking down the street, and I do have guys, friends of mine that are gay,
Okay.
I've never felt like being around my gay friend was ever going to, in one instant, let me be perfectly clear. Being around a gay dude has never made me
Influence.
question my sexuality.
That is the dumbest argument, and not yours.
It
But I'm
is.
just saying when
Right.
people
It
say
really
that,
is.
there's a contagion,
Some kind of
it's
proximity, bro. Look,
contagious. But that's not the reason.
Bro, that's already there.
It's
But
either
that's not-
that or you are confessing that you are a weak-minded individual.
Well,
That's
it
projection.
wasn't a reason. The reason that marriage was a protected thing was because it was a financial. There's never just that. There was a financial cue to it. In order to get married, it ensured and guaranteed you certain rights under the law.
Right.
That's it. It's not about whether it was going to turn your kids gay or it was going to be a bad example and stuff. We don't want, just like with black people, because this country is racist, and I'm going to bring it back there too. We don't want to spread equal rights.
Right. Facts.
Right.
We don't. We don't want to.
Okay, but see, okay, so here's where here's where people like to do like the battleground and stuff, because we've been talking about this stuff ever since social media has been blowing up every little topic we can ever think of, especially when it comes to marriage. We take it back to the Bible, and we all acknowledge as believers that the God himself constituted marriage from Adam and Eve. And that's where, and you can go and you can Google it, research it. Goes all the way back to the Mesopotamian times.
Adam and Eve were shacked up. They never had a ceremony.
Say what?
They were shacked up. They never had a ceremony. I don't remember that.
Right. Okay. No. And that's what I was about to refer to.
The Bible but
the actual ceremony was dated back in the Mesopotamian times, which is of course thousands of years after Adam and Eve. But the whole thing about that is that's where your Christian believers really have, I call it like a pet peeve when it comes to the word marriage, because it's kind of like someone like twisting the knife because of the respect and honor that we have for God and what he has set forth. And that's one of the very few things that pretty much all Christians, no matter what your denomination is, that's one of the few things that we automatically agree on, like global.
But that's the problem.
And so what you hear, what you hear people say is call it something else. If you want to call it union, call it union. If you want to call it togetherness, call it togetherness. But when you say the word marriage, then that's where you get your biggest what do you call it? Backlash or kickback or whatever it's called.
But
because of the word itself, marriage is actually founded by God in the Bible. Yeah, what's up?
So because it was used first there in a recording, that gives it exclusivity to Christianity?
I'm not going to say Christianity because that's why I said by God. But in other words, marriage. Okay, I'm listening.
But the Christian God is where people are saying the word marriage has some type of exclusivity that we don't.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I think
that's and that's what I'm saying. Like, so because we see it on social media. Because I mean, just every day walking around, you don't really hear a lot of people protesting and stuff like that. So yeah, so when you hearing like all these backlashes on these platforms and stuff, yes, it is coming from someone that is claiming Christianity, whether it's evangelical, whether it's Protestant, or whatever denomination it is. I'm just letting us know that that's where it's coming from. I haven't heard a Muslim. Like I have never heard a Muslim say anything.
Okay, so Islam.
I've never heard a Hare Krishna say anything.
Other religions outside of Christianity use the word marriage, so it's not definitely not.
And that's why I'm saying I'm just putting us into the know of that's where it's coming from.
But
Look,
where? Go ahead, Jermaine.
no, I was gonna say, I think the whole being married thing is
It's a pet
especially.
peeve.
Well, the thing is like, think about it like this, man. Like, I think that everybody has the right to be miserable too. Like, why should you just support people? Why hold that back from gay people? Because if you're gonna be in it, bro, be in it.
Right.
Lose half your
Right.
shit.
Okay. No.
Well,
See,
well,
I don't
but-
disagree
but-
with it. I do
but
not
then-
disagree with the misery. I do
but
not
the-
disagree. My sister gonna say something.
No, but I was also sitting here saying is also a lot of these restrictions are trying to put, because again, having the benefits are upon marriage, and again with money and this one and everything else, that's another reason why they're trying to
I
restrict
see
it,
that. Right.
restrict it to them, restrict
Yeah,
it
You
because
think
of
I had a
you
yeah.
think about
I
the
actually
change that
had two
happened.
good friends.
No, I'm saying that you think about the change that's happened since a marriage equality and stuff. Well, what it allows now that you didn't have previously is like you couldn't be on somebody's insurance
Correct.
unless
Right.
you were married.
That was the
Right.
thing in the military. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
so that was a
or
big
have
deal.
rights, or have any rights over into life care or anything like that, because you were not
Right.
inheriting a property, everything.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Power of attorney, stuff like
Go
that.
back.
Yeah,
And
it's all
and I actually had, like, when I first came in the Navy, I do remember being aware of two different cases. I didn't know them directly, but I was made aware of it, because people just talk. It's called it's called scuttlebutt, scuttlebutt conversation, water cooler talk. And what they were saying is that there were people that were actually of the gay community posing as straight, because they would actually marry someone of the opposite sex just so they could have what my brother and my sister are talking about. So they could have access to the
They were beards.
benefits, the insure. Yeah. And then I guess low key someone found out through investigation that, hey, that person is really gay and their marriage is not really legit. And people are starting to get busted left and right. At least in my Navy world, that's what was going on in my life experience in the
but you know what?
latter part of the 90s.
I just
Go
never
ahead.
understood. I've never understood why what I do in my bedroom matters to you. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
while I may not agree with everything that you, but that's a natural part and a maturity thing, is that I know I don't agree with everybody on this panel, and I don't agree with everybody in the rest of the world. I have my own unique set of principles and stuff and ideas and stuff, and they don't particularly align with anybody but me.
Right.
And it doesn't matter that those are my ideas, because I'm not going to force them. I'll share them when asked, or when we have this, we have this show. Greatly, I'm asked to come on here and share my opinions, so that's what I do. I come share my opinions and stuff. But it's in terms of me going next door, knocking on next door, and going, hey, what's going on over here? Like, I'm curious, like,
because that's what it feels like. Exactly.
To be like, what are you doing with your body?
Right.
Truth is, unless the decisions you make are going to come back, like, so if the decision you make, like, I'm gonna burn my house down, well, why does that concern me? Because you're pulling public resources.
Because I live beside
you. Or I live beside you, or it's when you have HOAs that say that you can't paint your house pink because you drive down the value for other people. So even though pink may be your favorite color,
Right.
it's your house.
That's
you do
correct.
have options. You do have options to live in other places. There are such things as and so that's kind of how I feel about some of these conversations about gender and stuff like that. Is that some of them are relevant conversations, and simply because it hurts people's feelings that they are excluded. I mean, that's just like saying, I tried to go to the Air Force Academy and they would let me in. Well, why wouldn't they let you in? Well, I'm in a wheelchair. There are certain things that you can't participate. It's called legal discrimination, and there are legal discrimination stuff. You could be too short, you can be too tall, you can be too fat, you can be too out of shape. You could have
even when you go to Carowinds, hey, if you ain't this tall, or you may be too tall to get on the roller coaster.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get on, but see, now okay, that's just like Cat Williams whenever he shared. He shared that video of the blind football player. Come on, man. I mean, it's just that's
But you know, back to the marriage thing though. I believe that devout Christians do believe that they own the word marriage. The problem is,
just like they used to own you.
correct, right?
If you can own people, you can own words.
Right. Right. I mean, that's a simple delusion there. But
I'm serious. If you think that a subset of people who believed it was their God-given right to own other people don't believe that they also have a God-given right to the words,
that's
and
right.
they fought a war about giving up the people.
Yeah. Yeah. They're what they consider chattel property. So no, you're absolutely right. But that's where that when I talk about infringement, and I've listened to a lot of extreme folks that I would consider extreme, a lot of times their whole idea of infringement is I know it's there, but I don't want to see it. And it's like, okay, but if it was a straight couple, or you know, same thing like in the movies, if and you have a right to go watch a movie, but they'll talk about a movie being woke because heaven forbid there was a scene where two same-sex people kissed or something like that. Now there's a woke agenda or something, and you're infringing upon my rights. Hey, you see it. It doesn't mean just because you see something doesn't mean that you automatically accept it or that you're okay with it. Something being put in front of you, whether it's, and it doesn't have to mean when I say put it in front of you, it doesn't have to be intentionally put in front of you. Two people walk by, you had absolutely no control over that, and they happen to sit there and be holding hands. They're involved with each other. They're not worried about everybody else around them, nor should they have to sit there and think, oh God, we're out in public. Let's wait and do all of this when we go home. Because when you deal with straight people ain't talking about, hey, let's wait till we get home. We don't want to offend anybody. Nobody's sitting there having those same expectations on straight people, but those expectations are not reciprocated on same-sex people at all. And there's no reason for that
correct.
because I don't want to see that as infringing on my rights.
Right.
And same thing like
And
Jermaine
so
brought
that's what I was saying is like
the reproductive rights is that I have a right to control my body. Who are you to tell me that you're not okay with the things that I do to my body? I don't sit there and ask you how much Viagra you take in a week. You know, it's kind of funny how we talk about reproductive rights for women, but we don't address any reproductive rights for men. You know, when you gonna get that vasectomy? I hear you got 3 different baby mamas. We need to do something about that.
right.
Why
Now
is that?
I
Why is that?
guarantee you, like when we start addressing something like that, then all of a sudden we're gonna have it's not
You'll
gonna be
never
a pandemic, it's gonna be an epidemic. It's gonna be
it'll
an epidemic.
only way that it would be addressed, you would have to get 434 women that think like that in the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate and a female president.
Oh yeah.
The only way that's
Then you really gonna start seeing. Then you really gonna start seeing.
you be hearing men in the Senate talking about bring back the filibuster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring back the filibuster. They ain't gonna let it go. I know we only
But
got
you know what? That's a. Oh wow.
Go ahead,
That was the whole show.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You good final thought on it. Go ahead, CJ.
Who? Oh, none. I was just agreeing with you. I just noticed the time.
Oh yeah, I know we were getting into it. Couple of updates because I did have it on our list, so I will go over it. I know we on our last show was talking about the State of the Union and waiting to see what Joe Biden was going to do, and it was funny because number one, Joe Biden came out very feisty, very fiery, very combative, egging the Republicans on, and they fell for the okey doke, and then he was lashing on them. It was a good performance. Some of the things he said were absolutely not true. I can't say that. But at least he said it with a zeal and a conviction that I will give him a lot of credit for. But the thing that the media does more than anything is they overreact to everything. Joe Biden gave a speech where he was very fiery. He was very quick on his toes. It wasn't past his bedtime. He didn't appear sleepy. He even stayed well into an hour after the State of the Union on the House floor, chucking it up with people, and they had to basically make him leave. He didn't want to leave because he spent most of his career in that building. But the funny thing is that the next day the headlines are, man, Biden knocked it out the park. Well, I guess that proves that he's capable of running the country and da 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 da. And I'm sitting there going, it was one damn speech. That don't prove to me that he can last another 4 years.
One and done, son. One and done, son.
All he had to do was have a really good showing in one thing. That's like, could you imagine if the quarterback of your favorite team
flip it, bro, flip it
in the first game, threw for 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, had a perfect QBR passer rating, and you said, "Oh my God, he going to the Hall of Fame." There's still 16 more games. You don't know if he's going to repeat that performance or not. He had a good one.
Look, let my guy, let him sit in his glory.
But no, because the minute he have a next game and he throw 3 interceptions for 127 yards, y'all be ready to trade his ass.
I think the thing about it is that the victory for Biden was that he was vibrant, he was passionate, and he was cohesive and coherent.
Right.
But was that more because the Republicans set the bar so damn low?
Well, that's
no.
And really, no, it really is. It's their fault. Like, so they just GOP, the House tried to have a hearing because of the classified documents. They wanted to they really wanted to get into the special counsel's because the special counsel made a statement that he was like a kind, forgetful man and stuff. Yet when they pulled the transcripts from it, he actually complimented the president on his memory,
photographic memory
of events. I don't think he meant that in a broad term. I think he was really talking about whatever the line of question was, that he had been very, very detailed about with his answer and stuff. Which, if you let any old man start telling a story, they're going to get very, very detailed and go
what the old man part was, and they had to clarify it, was he basically said, I did not feel that we could take a conviction or we had a conviction case to a jury that would look at him as somebody that intentionally did anything wrong. They would look at him as a kind, old, forgetful man.
Yeah.
And that's how the jury would view him.
That was his conclusion, but he wrote in his opinion the difference of why he didn't charge Biden versus Trump was because Trump had allegedly, and he used allegedly because he's not been convicted of these things, but he evaded. He destroyed. He duped other people into collaborate with him to hide these documents. He did everything he could to evade the Department of Justice. In contrast, Biden did the opposite.
Right.
To include the interview that he sat down with special counsel, he wasn't subpoenaed to. He sat down. He was as open, as honest as he could be, and that's the reason he didn't charge him. And that was the whole thing, is that Republicans were fishing for something to say about Biden, and he, as a Republican, gave them something in the because nobody ever reads the report, so he can write whatever he wants in the report because that's illegal.
Well, they read the summary without reading all the pages, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And even he wouldn't admit to the things he had said in the interview. He's like, well, if it says that on page 47, it does appear there. It does appear there. It's ridiculous. I want to backslide just for a second. Billy Porter, because I had to look it up. Billy Porter. I love Billy Porter. He was in the show called Pose, and if you never saw Pose, Pose was a wonderful, wonderful show. Wonderful show. And I enjoyed that deeply. And this might be like a white person say, I like them colored people on TV. I like the Jeffersons and stuff. And if it is, just cancel me tomorrow. But I really, even without agreeing with the lifestyle, I really enjoyed they were so well spoken. And I really enjoyed that show.
I should have.
That's
I
funny.
should have been ready to hit the dam. I'm sorry. That was pretty
It was
No,
too
no,
late.
no,
Way
no.
too late.
late.
No, but because that was my final thoughts was that with the where's the line and stuff. The line is in when you come to my house with it. Everything outside is fine. But when you want to come in, you want me to force me to believe something or say something.
Correct.
I think that's the infringement of. But I don't think that that's exclusive to that conversation. I think that's all American conversations when we talk about our freedoms.
But Jermaine, and I want to jump back to Biden, but that's just like you being Muslim. I mean, it ain't like you come to me and say, "Hey, bro, I think you really need to do this."
I think the importance of
Oh wow.
when I talk that's hard hitting right there. When I talk about the racism and bigotry in America, I acknowledge that it still exists, especially when we look at, in my opinion, if you're a Republican that supports Donald Trump, you may not consider yourself racist, but you're comfortable with racism. And so and to me, that's not a difference.
Right. Racism adjacent is still to me racism.
It's still, and that's something for you and your God to figure out.
Because to jump to your point,
Right.
Jermaine, because what you're saying is that's not bad enough for me not to support the guy. I like all these other things, and even though he's racist, I'm willing to look past that to get the things that I need to get. Now, there should be certain things with certain candidates. Everybody has flaws. Lori has flaws. And if I sat there and took Lori's flaws and said, you know what, because of the flaws that she has, that's a deal breaker for me. Okay. But then I also have to say, but you know what? Are those flaws bad enough for me to sit there and let it outweigh all of the good things that she brings to the table?
And look, it's a hard line to understand, especially when you really like something that somebody does. When
Right.
the remix to Ignition comes on, I still want to sing.
I struggle with Step in the Name of Love.
Bruh, ain't no need to struggle. Free R. Kelly. We ain't struggling.
No, nah.
We
Keep
ain't struggling.
aura. Keep aura behind aura.
Right
there.
Aura is fine. Y'all
He's fine
done
where he is
drunk the
right now.
Kool-Aid. I'm gonna need for my brothers and my sisters to go back and start looking at what was he really was set up, y'all. And I'm not just saying that.
We're going to do that on
set up.
the show, but okay.
That's a whole other show.
I'll actually have to research that.
But
you do. No,
but I've been in places
and I encourage y'all. No, seriously, because we have totally flipped on aura. And I'm telling you, when you start doing your research, you start looking into it.
Going at karaoke. I miss it.
Right. Man, no, I still play him to this day. I still play him.
I used to do If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time.
Because number one, how you gonna get paid, Lori? If you don't do his music, how's he gonna get paid to pay anybody?
Does his hits, when he's on stage doing his hits and stuff, people overlook the other stuff. The 91. I mean, look.
And that's what that lady did with Mark Robinson. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Look, Bill Cosby, who I love and grew up on, and stuff.
Michael Jackson. If you're gonna talk about aura, you're gonna talk about Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson.
Go ahead, Jay.
I just think that it's when you have people, sometimes it's hard to distinguish the artist from the person, the politician from the person, the public persona from the individual and their flaws and stuff. And on a lot of ways, I get that, but it's one of those kind of things. My love, or I say love, the fondness that I might have for certain Bill Cosby comedy specials, Michael Jackson songs, whoever and stuff, doesn't affect the countless other Americans in the country. There's not a song that any of those artists are going to do or joke that they're going to tell that's going to take away reproductive rights, that's going to separate children from their parents, that's going to impact our climate, that's going to impact our judiciary. You know what I mean? So none of those things. So when I say I do judge you a little bit harder, it's because the stakes are a little bit higher.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and so just kind of wrapping it up too with the State of the Union. I think the craziest thing was the response by Katie Britt, the first-year senator from the state of Alabama. I thought Tommy Tuberville by far had to be the dumbest senator from the state of Alabama. Katie Britt is really, really trying to give him a run for his damn money because I ain't never heard nobody, Republicans just don't do well with responses to the State of the Union. It's a thankless job because you're normally somewhere, you're not around a bunch of people. Normally, when the State of the Union, the president is out there and he's got people, half of the audience clapping for him, the other half not clapping, which actually motivates him probably too, to keep saying what he's saying. And you have that back and forth. It's like a comedian doing their set in front of nobody. So it's kind of a thankless job. But Marco Rubio, Bobby Jindal, and now Katie Britt have just knocked it out of the ballpark because she gave this very breathy response. Mr. President, you are responsible. And I was like, damn, I thought I was the actor. This heifer was trying to sell something. I was like, oh my God.
My white girl crush, she knocked it out the park, bro. Scarlett Joe. Man, I've watched SNL.
Scarlett Johansson.
For a minute, just for a minute, I thought that that Scarlett was just kind of like overdoing her character, but then it cued me to go back and watch it like fully.
Oh no,
Katie herself, and I was like, no, that was like spot on.
But see, that was the thing. After Katie Britt finished that speech, one of the first comments I heard was, "Oh God, SNL gonna have fun with this."
And did they?
As somebody who grew up watching William Shatner.
Stop. You need to stop.
To understand how the president will not give the response that you might be looking for. It's sometimes
she watched a lot of Trek in her bruh. Oh my God.
All these people.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
She was doing her Shatner, and I get it. She was, she was. And so here's the thing. But what about the content of what she said? That was trash too.
That was trash.
Oh God, man. And you know what? And see, what made it so beautiful is that she got fact checked even almost like immediately. It was almost immediate, guys.
I was impressed that the media finally did what they should have done and not just take these antidotes that these people bring up, these stories about a situation, and just take it verbatim that it's true, and then come to not only find out that it's not true, but find out that yes, the lady was real, and she got on the thing and said, I ain't had no personal conversation with this woman. I spoke about it. And I didn't say it was from no cartel. It was from a pimp in Mexico. It never happened in the U.S. And George W. Bush was president when it happened. Didn't happen with Biden, but you wanted everybody to believe that the policies that Biden has implemented with regards to the border had a direct impact on what this lady went through, and the two had nothing to do with each other. And you knew that when you told it, and you told it anyway, which is why she should be, but she won't be. She should be censured, because if Adam Schiff gets censured in the House of Representatives because he led an impeachment of Orange Man, and they said that he misled people, what the hell do you call that?
Exactly.
How is that not misleading people intentionally?
Bruh, just call it what it is. Call it what it is.
Lied.
She just flat out freaking lied.
That's
She
what it's
just
called.
flat out freaking lied. We are so PC. She lied with the intention to terrorize America.
Well,
And that's both of them. America and America.
Somebody else's trauma, and she tried to weaponize it.
Exactly.
And when
we gotta stop dancing around stuff like that, man.
There's a lot of rhetoric out there, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever. There's a lot of rhetoric out there. I get that. But when you take somebody's pain, something that had to take a lot of courage for them to open up about and talk about being raped over and over and over and weaponize it that way, you are a low-hanging sack of crap.
Well, let's be honest though, but that's Republican politics right now.
It is.
You're spinning the lie.
No shame.
Because it's they've had years to come up with their own policies, their own they can't even elect their own leaders. They can't even agree on that. And so a lot of their stuff is retaliatory, and it's just a counterpoint to whatever. If you ever been around somebody, it's like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, I'm thinking about doing that. And that's how Republicans are. They're just a tit for tat kind of party right now. And it's
Now, here's the most bipolar part of that whole story. When Joe Biden talked about the border bill that had come up in the Senate that Senator Langford from Oklahoma helped draft with a group of other bipartisan people. And they were talking about how bad it was, and Trump wanted them to kill it because he wants it to be an issue for the election. Katie Britt was with Tom Langford when they came up with the whole thing. So she helped write the damn bill and then voted against it. And then had the nerve to sit there and talk about over and over. And we wouldn't accept that in a third world country, much less America. And we need to start acting like it's the United States. I'm like, heifer, you helped write the bill you killed.
Exactly.
Like,
I love the way that Jon Stewart said it too, bro. Listen, it is your business. If you want to worship Trump, worship Trump. If you want to run with the MAGA, run with the MAGA and all this other stuff, right? In other words, if you want to go red, go full red, do the whole nine. But one thing and I agree with his statement, at least call it for what it is. Your dedication to MAGA and the far right and everything else, that's all of that is just you following the crowd. But don't call it patriotism.
Right.
Okay? Just don't.
I'm gonna end it on that because I know we're way over. What I don't like, go ahead and give it to me real quick. Anybody got anything burning they don't like?
People not reading. I need y'all to read. Especially if I've sent something out and then that you give me 5,000 questions. I need you to read it when it was already there. I need you to read the fine print.
She didn't even put up the whole damn. She was ready to jump in.
Right.
I mean, damn. Okay. CJ, if you got anything you don't like?
Yeah, I got a couple things, but I'm just going to say one thing, man. Jerry Jones.
And you know what? You know how people say what doesn't need to be said. I already know where you're going with that. I agree with you.
Thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
I got two words for y'all. Derrick Henry. You didn't.
That's why I said Jerry Jones.
You didn't call him
Saquon Barkley.
You didn't call him.
Listen, the list can go on. That's why I said Jerry Jones.
I'm with you, bro. And you know I ain't no Cowboys fan, but I see this every year and I go,
I'm not surprised. See, that's the thing. I'm not even surprised.
You ain't gonna do nothing?
No, he ain't. Nothing. Nothing.
Damn. I mean, we got Robert Hunt. I mean,
if I wasn't so dedicated to the team, I would drop them. I really would.
I feel you. And he give you the reason. Jermaine, what don't you like?
Nothing. Happy Ramadan to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Hope the season brings you closer to Allah and your faith.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I don't like. I'm gonna go full screen with this, y'all. But y'all still there. So what burns me? Number one, before I tell you what burns me, thank you everybody for watching. We are doing our drive to 10,000. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. If you watch us on Facebook, there is a link. I will send it out again. Please make sure that you share it. We got a lot of good responses in our first day of the campaign, but definitely want to see it grow more and more and more. But what burns me is still kind of related to after the State of the Union. I'm not sure that a lot of y'all saw on the Sunday shows where Nancy Mace, Congresswoman from South Carolina, who really likes to be in front of a camera, apparently, was asked a question by George Stephanopoulos about how it is. And she had come out in a hearing for the House and disclosed that at some point in time, she herself has been a victim of rape. And we want to believe women. We want to sit there and understand that it's not an easy thing to open up about something so tragic and traumatic, because a lot of times rapes happen with people that they know and they're familiar with. And there's a violation that goes along with that. And it takes a very, very long time for people to feel whole again and not feel the shame and the weight, feeling like they played some part in that. And we take that seriously. But what Nancy Mace did Sunday with George Stephanopoulos really, really makes it harder for women to sit there and come forward about their rape. George Stephanopoulos asked her a question that she is supporting Donald Trump, somebody that has been found liable of sexual assault. And she did everything she could to sidestep the question of basically, how can you, somebody that has talked about how that has impacted your life and the shame that you live with, now support somebody that has done the things that you say has affected you in that way? And she tried to turn it around on George to say, you're trying to shame me. And he said, I'm not trying to shame you. It's a legitimate question. How can you sit there now and support somebody that's been found liable? Well, it wasn't a criminal case. Criminal, civil, he was found liable. It's on his record now. So she tried to dismiss it, and she kept going on and on and on about how disgusting Stephanopoulos was for asking her that question. Nancy Mace, what you did makes it harder for women that have been assaulted by men when you sit there and you minimize what E. Jean Carroll went through because you have such feigned loyalty to Donald Trump. This is why women don't come forward, because you took something that happened to this woman and minimized it when the opposite should have happened. You should have had some kind of empathy for what she went through, not try to minimize her pain just because she won millions of dollars as a result of his defamation. You are part of the problem. You could have been more part of the solution. I want to thank my panel, Jermaine Parker, Lori Parker, Mr. TNTBS CJ Jones, for joining us for another week of Head to Head. I know we ran over a little bit, but I like the topic and I just wanted to roll with it. Hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you guys again next week. Thanks a lot.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket.